what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at how we can modify a given turn for any number of reasons. I know you're about to head off to a downhill race, and I've ridden the track where you're going, and it can change a lot between practice day and race day, right? So you come out on race day and you're like, what's going on here? This is totally different than it was in practice, right? So in those situations, we can actually change our line. So we can come into a turn, you can just see that your old line was totally blown. You could apex earlier by creating your footwork a little bit earlier, or apex later. Be able to switch up your lines, essentially.
Cool. Okay, so this sounds great to me because I've noticed in the last several months, sometimes I'll kind of mess up a corner. And in the past, I could never get back into my routine because I kept hitting the other ones later and later and later. But now with some of the footwork stuff we've done, I've been able to recover on the next turn and get back into my routine.
Absolutely. I mean, being able to be really like, deliberate with your apex, with your footwork, really allows you to get back on rhythm again. So that's super important. And then if any of you out there who race, in packs like cross country, cyclocross, stuff like that, you can use this footwork to pass. So you could actually change your line to get around somebody in front of you. Like if they're going wide, you can go inside, or you can take them to the tape, leave them in the tape, and use a bit of footwork, because Rubbin's racing.
What?
Rubbin's racing.
Rubbin's racing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All these new sayings, it's hard to keep up.
It is hard to keep up.
Like rubbing elbows?
Yeah, like rubbing elbows, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, not in downhill. You shouldn't be rubbing elbows with anybody except spectators, maybe,
Yeah.
when you're coming down the course.
Yeah, we have some good spectators here.
Yeah, we do.
They're loud.
They are, for sure. Awesome. So we're going to work on this today, and excited to see your cornering and your new bike.
Yeah, and that's kind of a fun thing for me because I'm now learning how to ride a 29-inch front wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so
it's harder.
It's a little bit more. You have to get forward on the bike, right? You really have to press in.
There's that, and I think there's also just the mental side of it. Of I know how my 27.5 will respond, and it's more of just questions in my mind, like, is this enough? Am I forward enough? Do I have enough pressure? There's a lot of wheel out in front of me, so I think it's more of a mental thing right now. But the bike actually rides like a dream.
Yeah. So one of the things about, so your bike's I think it's a little slacker than your last bike. It's a little more choppered out. One of the things when you're riding a slacker bike is you actually have to drive forward more into the turn, because we actually need to compress the front fork a little bit to get the head angle under control. So they're super forgiving when we're coming down technical stuff, but in the turns, if we get back too far, like even if you just roll your foot back too far, you're gonna further compress the rear suspension and under compress the front fork, and the bike's going to get slacker and slacker, and it's not going to want to turn. So for you, just remembering to be really deliberate with your footwork, but also making sure you're really driving forward in the turns with your outside knee. That's going to give the front fork some compression and actually just kind of optimize the head angle for you. All right, we've been here before. You've seen this turn before?
Yeah.
But we're going to see it kind of like through a new lens today. So we're going to look at it a little bit differently than we've done before. We're going to be changing the apex up. We're going to be using a pink cone, your favorite color.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be turning, at the pink cone. All right, so we're going to do some early apexes, some like medium apexes. Just work on a kind of a variety of things here. So again, this would be super helpful, if we come across something on the trail and we really need to change our lines. This is one of the reasons, like with this new school footwork, where we're not just kind of like stuck at 6 o'clock with the outside foot down. That would be kind of like skidding in a turn. And what I mean by that is we'd be committed to a certain line. And when we have this interplay of our feet, we can change our line at any point.
Okay.
And so wanting to be super lively.
So normally when we ride through a kind of a sweeping turn like this, we come in level, we start to dip, and then we come back up.
Yeah.
And so today, if I understand correctly, we're trying to actually like snap in a certain place.
Yeah, more or less. So we're still going to have the same thing. So if you think about it this way, like if I'm going through all of these cones like as one long turn, I'm going to be making like one long set of footwork. But if I come in and I want to like apex in a certain point, I'm going to collect that footwork into one point.
Gotcha.
All right. So this could be done in like literally like hundreds or thousands of different ways in this given turn. So really just wanting to kind of like explore the freedom of being able to create your own line in a turn and create your own outcome.
That makes a lot of sense for when something goes wrong, or like when you come down a trail and you're off your line, you don't panic.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things I want you to really focus on, like riding your local trails, is getting away from your lines, right? And this is something that we're all guilty of, is just kind of falling into habitual patterns on our own trails. And then you go out on a day where your lines don't work and you're like, my lines aren't that good today. Well, they shouldn't be your lines anymore. So it's really important that when you go out onto your local trails, that you're switching up what you do and kind of making your old trails, new trails, right? And learning to ride them in different ways. That way when you go somewhere new or when you come down the trail and there's something in your line, it's not completely uncomfortable to change things up a bit. So you're gonna come through just like normal. Good, go ahead and do another lap. Nice, good. All right, when you come through again, there's gonna be a different apex point. Nice. Good, I want you to see if you can actually change your line. So you apexed here, but I want to see if you can actually get an inside exit out of the turn. And our goal is gonna be to get to the inside of this route up into here. So we're gonna use that apex point to completely change our line. So it's gonna change our exit line completely.
Gotcha.
All right?
Okay.
So let's give it a try again.
Cool.
Okay. Good, nice.
Oh yeah, that was definitely different.
Yeah, so that changes the line, right? So the point of changing the apex is to change the line, right? So like if we had maybe a big puddle here, or if that route was really slippery and went all the way across the trail, we could get to the inside here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Okay, so now I'm gonna have you use the same apex point. This time what you're gonna do when you come in is, rather than going around this rock to the outside, we're just gonna kind of pretend that something's going on down here, or you're just trying a different line, maybe you're trying to pass somebody, whatever the case is, but you're gonna come to the inside of the rock this time, same apex point and same exit. Okay, so we're just gonna play with how we can change the dynamics of this turn.
So we're really scoring this one off.
This one you're squaring off for sure. So this is more like what you asked earlier. Like this is gonna be that
one
quick turn, but still that's my turn now, right? So I'm still sharing my footwork throughout the turn. My turn is just now very short, even though it's inside this longer turn.
No! Okay.
You almost got it, right? You really gotta step into that pressuring foot, right? I mean, because this is suddenly now like almost like a V shape, right?
That's hard.
It's harder, right? It's different. But you should be able to get, like, there's really good traction and really good support right here. So really step into that footwork, make sure the hips rotate through and that your inside knee opens in the direction you want to go and you're looking exactly where you want to go. Good. So that was really like a really good apex point. Now what I need you to do is to hold that pressure just a little bit longer so you can get inside the route. Do you want me to demo once for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one sounded better to me.
It was really good. Like you really got into your tire there. I mean, you can actually see like your drift marks over this route here. So you were like drifting through here. It was super strong. You just needed to hold a moment longer in order to get the exit line that we're looking for inside the route.
I'm gonna stand on the inside. I don't want to get sprayed. Look at the tire marks you made. Can you see those? It looked really good, and I can see how much traction you got.
Yeah. So the tire's really working there, right in the apex of the turn. And I was actually able to get around the little route that you can see how I set up just around the route.
Yeah.
So I got around the route at the apex, and I got around the route at the exit of the turn as well. And this is just something that takes practice. One of the things that's really important here is vision. It's like looking where you want to end up. And I think what's happening is like sometimes when you come through, you're so focused on the apex that you forget that you want it to lead you someplace in particular. So we're going to really look to the inside exit of the turn in this instance because that's where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome. How'd that feel?
Oh, those are still your marks. It felt good.
I don't know. I think you might have just covered the marks that I made because your line was almost identical to my line. You got really a lot of pressure. It'll be interesting to see, but I think you got a lot of suspension compression coming through there. It looked really good. Ton of front tire traction. And yeah, it looks like you used a good bit of your suspension there.
Yeah, I put it down so I could see.
Nice, yeah. So using like 40% of your front travel in that turn, right? So really good. I really liked your exit too. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And one of the things that really helped you there was how aggressive you were in this moment. Like really getting the turn done in one place, which is not the way we'd normally ride this turn, but that's the whole idea behind doing this. And sometimes what you can do also, as a racer, it doesn't always pay to square off your turns, that's for sure. I think people kind of overdo it these days just for fun, which is all good. But sometimes you can find a place like this where you have a lot of support and you can actually get lateral acceleration in a turn that's otherwise really technical. So you might be able to just come in and just ping off that bank and really like get a lot of response from it and a lot of trail speed without having to deal with maybe all the chunder that's in the other places. All right, nice job. So next one's going to be a secret squirrel apex.
Secret squirrel.
Okay.
It didn't really move, did it? Oh, it did move.
It did move,
It came
yeah.
early.
It's an early apex, but I want you to see if you can still get that inside exit for now.
Okay.
Okay. So one of the reasons that we might actually take an inside, if we're trying to get an inside exit here, it might actually help you in these conditions to get an inside entry, which is maybe not the case on every turn, that's for sure. If you're racing and you have a ton of speed coming down here, you might start on the outside and go inside. But here you're going to get more leg compression if you go inside. You're going to square the turn more and you're going to get more energetic response from your leg. It might actually make it easier for you to get the inside exit. So if your outright goal were to get that inside exit with the conditions just like they are, it might almost be easier, surprisingly, with an inside entry, so that you get a harder apex, you get more force, and you can actually change directions more aggressively.
Ooh, that's hard.
It is hard right there, right? It's less supported than it was before.
Yeah.
Right, so you really got to drive forward to get front tire compression here because there isn't as much support. You really finish it here. Good. We'll try it another time, then we'll change the apex point.
Okay.
Yeah, that was better.
That felt better.
That was a lot better. You got a lot of traction that time. I could really hear your tires working there. You left some nice drifty marks there. Super good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do have some marks.
You do. Look at that.
That feels great.
Making Max's proud. All right, so we're gonna do a different apex. I'm gonna just give away what I'm gonna do here. We're gonna go late apex.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna go super late apex. I want you to come in and make your turn super straight and make your turn really late. I still want you to see if we can go for the inside exit, just for fun.
Sure.
And then maybe we'll do a couple with the outside exit as well. But just
Okay.
playing with control here. Good, nice. Really good apex.
Go again?
Super strong, yeah. It was really good. If you want to do another one, just like that was great. Inside the rock, inside the root, straight toward me. And then bank it. Whap, yeah, good.
Yeah, that felt good.
That was really good. Nice tire marks on the ground here. You can really see like the size of the turn here. This is actually quite a small turn now. So the radius of this turn is this is only like 10 feet, right? We're in the middle of a 50-foot turn, but you made a turn within this 10 feet. Obviously, this isn't going to be the fast line through this turn in these conditions, right? Like
Yeah.
in these conditions, we would just make like a longer apex, longer radius, and really just like use the turn as it's meant to be used. But this is more of an exercise in just being able to play with apex points.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. All right, so when you go out to practice this weekend and you go out for your race run and the conditions change, you got a few tricks up your sleeve to deal with changing conditions, changing track.
Yeah, a lot of that for me is just knowing I've practiced it and I had the confidence to change my apex at the last minute if I need to.
Absolutely. No, that's what we want. And this is just a super simple drill that you can kind of set up anywhere. And it's just a fun way to challenge yourself. And if you've got a buddy to help you out and surprise you with a different apex every time you come through the turn, it's a good way to learn to turn better.
Yeah. And I guess you don't really need all these cones. If you're just out practicing, you really just need one cone, right?
Yeah, you just need one cone and a turn. That's all you need. This is more just so the viewers can see where the normal turn is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can just put like the PBR can out and be like,
Yeah,
Apex, you can make it fun.
You can make a beer Apex for sure. Yeah. A Friday Apex.
Friday Apex, yes.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend. Ride fast, stay smooth, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks so
Okay.
much.
See you soon.